What's up, family? Welcome back to Two Dope Black Doulas. Happy New Year, the podcast where we talk
Happy
about
New
birth,
Year.
babies, boundaries, and Black joy.
Yes, yes. We're your hosts, Brittany and Danielle, and today's episode is a reflection episode on those look back so we can move forward type of conversation.
Yes, today we're talking about what we tell our younger doula selves, the fresh out of the training version of ourselves who were excited, passionate, lots of passion, lots of joy, and a little to a lot of being naive.
Very naive, the I want to save the world passion. So, if you're a new doula thinking about becoming one, or even have years in and are feeling like, woo, this episode is for you.
Yes, yes. All right. So, lesson one, and you and I talked about this before, Brittany. You don't have to say yes to everything. The very first thing I would
Amen.
definitely tell my younger self is don't say yes to every client. Mm-mm.
That part. So I know early on it feels like you have to take on every inquiry that comes your way, but different personalities misalign expectations and red flags I ignored in some situations because of that, wanting to take on every client.
Exactly. Same, same. I thought being a good doula would mean being available at all times for everyone, and sometimes that's just not the case.
Absolutely. Because so what I've learned is not every client is your client. And that doesn't, it's not a bad thing that every client is not your client. Compatibility matters for them and for you.
Yes, absolutely. Saying no is not a failure. It's not unprofessional. It's discernment. And you have to realize that. And honestly, it's a lot of self respect that we deserve.
Absolutely. So, moving into lesson two, your presence is enough. Another big one I wish I knew early on as a young doula or a younger doula, might I
Okay.
add, is that I did not need to know everything to be a great doula. There's so much out there as far as education, different perspectives, different things, different techniques that you can incorporate into being a doula. And it's so easy to jump in head first in wanting to get everything, every knowledge about being a doula.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I used to feel like I had an answer for every question, every scenario, every curveball, and that is definitely not the case because, again, every client is different, every situation is different, every birth is different.
Amen. So, but so much work is in just being presence in your presence, being calm, being steady, being someone who doesn't panic when things shift.
Yes, because you can always say, let's pause and ask, or let's look at our options. You don't have to perform expertise to be valuable. I mean, we always utilize the BRAIN acronym, which, Brittany, what's the BRAIN acronym? Pop quiz.
So, benefits, risk, alternatives,
Yes.
intuition,
Yes.
nothing.
Okay. Nothing or not now. Look, just be nice. Be like, or nothing or not right now.
Or nothing.
Exactly. Right. We definitely believe in utilizing the BRAIN acronym, and I try to bring that to all of my situations and all of my client meetings as well.
Absolutely. So being present, your presence and just being calm sometimes is all that a situation needs versus having to have like that expert answer at all turns. So let's roll into lesson three. Burnout is real and preventable.
Yes, yes. Woo, let's talk about burnout.
Yes, because nobody warned us enough about burnout.
Oh, I think we're gonna take it back to last year. I wish I knew this earlier part of this work. Being on call nonstop, being on call nonstop, without boundaries will catch up to you. And I think, no, I know we felt that in 2025.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it will catch up to you fast. Like
Yes.
you don't recognize it. It's something that happens very quickly
Mhm.
and can accumulate over time.
Yes.
And especially if you have other titles and roles in your other parts of your lives, like being a mom yourself or being a spouse or being even other titles like working in another job. burnout will happen fast. But
Yes.
burnout doesn't mean you don't love birth work. It means you're human.
Yes, yes. Say that again. I will definitely tell my younger doula self, schedule time off before you're exhausted. Build up a support system, your community, your own village. We talk about building your community and your village to our clients all the time. But we also need a village. And as Brittany said, if we have different roles as spouses, we have many hats that we have to wear, and we need that village in order to show up for ourselves as well as our clients. But yeah, and definitely find other doulas you can lean on, because that's how Brittany and I communicate 30 times a day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're not meant to do this work alone. Having somebody else there to bounce off ideas and thoughts and, hey, wait a minute, this ain't looking right. Or wait a minute, like I found this interesting, information that, you might benefit from learning.
Yes,
Like you are not meant to do this alone. Like Danielle said, having that community support that we advocate for our clients is also beneficial for us as well.
absolutely.
So let's roll into lesson 4. Charge your worth early. Let's talk about money because
Oh,
some of us, money is something that we are taught early on to not talk about. It's
yes,
like some of us have been taught to be humble and
yes,
not discuss money, and that money is unfortunately something that makes the world go round. You need money. So let's talk about undercharging, not charging for those who are out there not charging.
yeah, many questions about not charging, but definitely same. I cannot lie. I definitely felt as though when I first started, because I did not have quote unquote experience, I did not or should not have the privilege or the authority to charge a certain amount. Thanks to Google and AI and all the wonderful new technology we have, you would literally place into the Google search, hey, what should I charge as a new doula for this? And whenever they would say a price,
Mhm.
let's say $1,500, it seemed exorbitant. Saying it out loud, I was scared to even say that.
Yeah, and I think for so many of us, especially when we first start being a doula and getting out there and trying to get our feet wet, I think first we worry about one, getting clients. Like, will clients say no if I say a certain amount? And I
Right.
think that causes us anxiety. And then that's when we go to lowering our price to try to, or not charging to try to get clients. I thought charging more meant I was greedy or inaccessible, but what I learned is undercharging leads to resentment.
Yes, yes, yes. And resentment can and will show up in your body, in your spirit, in your work. You literally feel it, because there are times you may have client meetings, whether it's appointment that you go to with them that turns into a 1 hour appointment, turns into a 4 hour appointment, which has happened.
Preach.
Somehow you're
Preach.
there from the morning to the afternoon shift. And then sometimes you have the client births where you literally are there longer than two nurse shifts. Like the nurses will change, they come back the next day
Hmm.
and they're looking at you like, hey, did you get to go home? You're like, no. So it shows up in your spirit and your work. So you can be accessible and sustainable.
Amen. And I think that it's important, like you said, Danielle, it's always that client that you undercharge or don't charge that ends up, and they're not doing it or it's not
Purpose.
done out of, yeah, on purpose, but it always ends up being that situation for that client that you undercharge, that you end up spending 4 hours at an appointment or having to do a lot of extra things. And then
Yes.
that's, like we said, when that resentment shows up and you're like, wait a minute, I should have charged more. Like this is, and that's not a good environment for a mental space for you to be in, or a good mental space for the client to feel, because it shows up even though you try to hide, save face, put on a different face, it still shows up in your body. And some people can pick up on those little subtle things.
Can.
Your time, energy, and expertise have value, period.
Yes, I absolutely agree. But lesson 5, this work will change you. I'm going to say that again. This work will definitely change you. One thing that I didn't expect is how much birth work would change me. Again, Brittany and I chat a lot throughout the days, weeks. whether we're at births or not, and how much it changes us, even with being parents ourselves. It changes you on a daily viewpoint from items of watching the news and what is going on or not going on in the birth world, especially with Black and Brown birthing parents right now. All of that, it changes you whether you think or know. Definitely didn't know that it would change us this much.
Yes. So you see life begin
Mm,
being in the delivery room. You see trauma. You see resilience. It those experiences all together reshapes how you move throughout the world and how you maneuver, and even the things you pay attention to, like you said, Danielle, like the policies and things that are happening. You're like, well, wait a minute, that's how is this going to affect my families that I work with, or how is that going to affect my community?
yes, it definitely deepens my compassion. And I know Brittany and I, again, we talk about that, so I know you would agree. It deepened our compassion and also my boundaries. It was a great reminder of how to set boundaries. And that was, Brittany and I, that was our, not really resolution this year, but something we came up with together about boundary setting in 2026.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So we're talking to you through this podcast, but we're also preaching to ourselves at the same time with these lessons. So the life lessons and the lessons that we've learned through our younger doula selves has taught us how powerful Black community care really is. It's taught us about having that community, how powerful that is, and how we need to support each other.
Yes, yes, I love that. So now, as we have been looking back, what we'd say directly to our younger selves. So, if I could talk to my younger doer self now, I definitely would say you are enough and you don't need to prove yourself. Trust your instincts, trust your gut, listen to that discernment. You will be okay.
Absolutely. That was good. That was deep. Like snap, snap.
Love that.
So for myself, I would tell my younger doula self to protect your joy, stay connected to why you started,
Ooh,
and don't let this work consume your whole identity. It very easily could, but you started out into this work in this space for a reason. And it's very easy for me to feel like I need to take on the whole world and solve all of the world's problems. And eventually, hopefully, I hope to see that things change in this space for maternal health,
yes,
especially for Black and Brown families. But at the same time, I have to protect my joy in doing the work and being a part of that change.
yes, yes. Protecting joy and happy Black History Month, if we have not said that already. Happy Black History Month. So yes, some good Black boy joy, some good Black girl magic. But yeah, I think that
Amen.
that definitely makes sense. But yeah, if you're listening now and you're new or newish to being a doula or even just tired, which again, burnout happens, remember this. You're allowed to grow, you're allowed to change, you're also allowed to rest.
And you're allowed to still love this work while doing it differently than you did before. So, we hope that this episode felt like a deep breath and a gentle reminder that you're not alone in this journey.
Exactly. And if this episode resonated with you, please share it with a doula or a friend or your younger self, honestly. Also, before we wrap, we want to leave you with something supportive you can carry with you beyond this episode. So, if today's conversation stirred anything up for you or reminded you that you needed a moment to pause, we've created a self journaling and grounding guide just for you. It's designed to help you slow your body down, reconnect with yourself, and process what's coming up, especially during seasons of transitions. You can download it now by clicking in the link in the show notes. Take your time with it, come back to it whenever you need it, and know that rest and reflection are part of this work too.
Yes, yes. And don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and follow us on Facebook, Instagram at Two Dope Black Doulas, YouTube, TikTok, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Until next time, stay dope, stay
Thank you.
grounded, and keep choosing yourself.
Amen.
Have a good day.
Bye.